Good morning. Welcome to Riverbend United Church. Lovely to see you all this morning. Welcome to you folks online as well. We're glad you're here. Thank you to 𝘞𝘰𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘱 for that prelude. And I think we're going to sing something you wrote a little bit later, right? Excellent. Glad to have you. Hello, ensemble. Nice to see you. Though we can't quite see your faces, but hello. Good morning. I think we have a couple of announcements sitting up here ready to go. David James.
Thanks very much. I'm David James, and I'm here to announce on behalf of the Men's Club a watercolour landscape course. It's in the bulletin. My phone number is there, and you can ask me any questions. It's on the month of June on the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd and 29th. They're Saturdays. It's here in the boardroom at 11 till 1. The cost is $50, and that's payable to Jackie in the office, and the closing date is May 29th. Thank you.
An artist learning opportunity. Thank you, David. That'll be beautiful. And Holly Rurik. I have to say, we had a care team meeting this morning. We have a couple of new members that you didn't meet when we introduced them, Agnes Stewart and Joanne Duchesne. But I wanted to say thank you so much to Holly for doing a fantastic job as our care coordinator. I feel like we're going to be so much better at caring for you, and I'm very grateful to you, Holly. But that's not why you're standing here. Okay.
You just put me on the spot.
Yes, I did.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here garage sailing talk. So, of course, it starts today for donations, and some people have signed up, and this year we're doing things a little different. We're not asking you to give a time or a day that you're coming, because everybody's lives are busy, and things come up and you can't make it, and you feel bad or whatever. So just come whenever you can. Your name's signed up. If you can come back, come 1 day, 2 days, whatever. The only thing we're asking of you to let us know, me and Bev or Janet, is if you're working the day of the sale, or if you're able to do the cash tables. And that would be for the days of the sales as well. So the cash table, we need at least 2 people downstairs and 1 or 2 upstairs. So if you wanted to do that, just let us know, and looking forward to seeing you all there. Thanks so much.
I'm going to sneak in here. My name is Jill Spanner, and I have been tasked with, to use the business vernacular, writing a living faith story for our church that goes on the Big United Church website. So as I've been trying to do it, we do a lot of stuff. But one of the things that this asks for is congregational engagement. So you will notice in your bulletin a card, which is a simple question: why are you part of Riverbend United Church? This is your congregational engagement. So please write a couple of things, 3 things, anything you want to say, you can put on that, and I'll collect them and use them for my living faith story.
Excellent. And the back is blank if they want to keep on writing. Thank you very much to Jill Kurd for coordinating that important part of our regional connection and our identity as a congregation. Luke.
Alrighty, good morning, everyone. My name's Luke. I'm the youth leader here. The youth have had a really busy week this week. We did a biblical cake making event last night. So we decorated 3 cakes themed around Bible stories. So they are actually near the front door. So you are able to go look at those. I'd recommend giving those a look. See if you can give your best guess at what potential story from the Bible they might be representing. You may not be able to figure it out, but I think for some of them you will. But after service, we are going to be eating some cake as a congregation. So anyone who's interested is welcome to come over to like the coffee room over there, and we'll be taking donations for the youth group. So you can have a piece of cake and also give us a donation towards our youth retreat. So thank you.
Super. Thanks, Luke, for keeping our youth engaged. Whoops, one more thing.
And we do want to help also out with the garage sale. So after that, the youth will be heading downstairs. So anyone who is staying for cake should also head downstairs with us to help with the garage sale, because I realize those two things are kind of happening at once.
To help set up tables for the garage sale. Thanks. And Monroe.
I'm selling Girl Guide cookies for $6 a box, and I believe I have 7 boxes, or 8. I don't really know. Yeah.
Great. So you can get your cake and then buy your Girl Guide cookies. Two quick things. One is, I know we say it every week, and for some reason we're not reaching you. And I don't know why we're not reaching you. I don't know what we need to say. We're making a brand new church directory. We will not be importing people from previous directories. If you have not filled this out or filled it out online, you won't be in the directory and you won't get a directory. So I know I'm sounding stern, but that's because we're flabbergasted that why aren't our people filling it out? There's these in the narthex, please do it. I keep saying last call. I want to say, get your behinds in gear. But I won't say that. Yes? Thank you, Jill. So the children and youth will be remaining in the sanctuary this morning for a whole community worship service designed by Carolyn Miller, who is now in Scotland, but she put it together before she left, and our youth and Christine Enns will be leading us through this service. So if you have a little one who you aren't comfortable with, you can't worship because your little one is restless, Jill was telling us there's a baby room right through there where someone will assist you in caring for the wee ones. I have to say that because we won't have a joy and concern time later in the service, if you have a joy or a concern, would you let us know now? And as you're considering that, I will lift up the family of Patty Webb, 88 years old, fiery spirit, sat right back there for years. And so we celebrated her life on Friday, and we remember her dear family in our hearts. Any other joys or concerns you had hoped and planned to speak today? All right, then this is the last you will see of me. I mean, I'll be here, but the last up front with the mic. So I have to tell you that I have a confession to make. One of my weaknesses as a minister, at least as a Canadian, one could argue also as a minister, is that I don't follow hockey. Don't tell Doug or Marv or Johnny or Carolyn Miller, if you're watching online, about that. So I'm driving into church and I'm thinking, oh no, did the Oilers play last night? I better find out. So I said this, and listen to the answer. Hey Siri, did the Oilers win? Why isn't she answering? It was beautiful. Wait. Hey Siri, did the Oilers win? She's not going to say it, but this is what she says. The Oilers battered the Kings by a score of 6-1 in Game 3 last Friday. So Siri is educating me about the Oilers because I'm trying to be a good Canadian and a good minister. But it was really funny when she said it, and I was in the car. I laughed. Battered. I think in the car she said hammered. So both are accurate. That's right. So today is Mission and Service Sunday. We often do it on the last Sunday of the month. The Mission and Service Fund of the United Church of Canada supports organizations in partnership all over the world. And this morning, as we sing our first song, you will be invited to come forward, if you wish, to offer a special donation to the Mission and Service Fund by putting your cash or check or pennies in this church. and then we will send them on to the general office. And 𝘊𝘰𝘳𝘴𝘆 is going to share with us a mission and service story. Let's take a breath of the Spirit and worship God together.
On a windy weekday morning in February, you might expect a camp to be quiet, anxiously awaiting the hustle and bustle that summertime will bring. But on the escarpment in Lincoln, Ontario, Cave Springs Camp is anything but quiet. A nature school for youth operates daily on the lower floor of the new conference center. Staff take bookings for weddings, corporate events, and birthdays, and in the afternoon, a youth group will arrive to enjoy the year-round facilities. Cave Springs hasn't always been this way. Not so long ago, programming would only run in the summertime, with some bookings into the fall if weather permitted. Program Director Lance Wright enthusiastically expresses his deep gratitude for the people who have made year-round facilities and programs possible. Looking outside on a February weekday, Lance can see children at the nature school experimenting with the wind instead of hiding from it indoors on a phone or computer. Lance's passion for creating lifelong memories and inspiring faith and self-confidence shines through his work to build a caring and dynamic community atmosphere. From the vibrant colors of spring to the warm sunshine of summers, the crisp air of fall, and the magical snow-covered landscapes of winter, Cave Springs Camp provides an ever-changing backdrop for people of all ages to appreciate outdoor activities and adventures. Your generosity through mission and service is helping children, teens, and adults to reconnect with nature at any time of the year. At the front of the church is a mini church where you can place donations for the Mission and Service Fund. We want to celebrate milestones in the lives of our congregation. If you've had a milestone recently, or if you just want to, we welcome you to donate towards this cause.
So we're going to open the service with our introit More Voices 122. This is the day, and as mentioned, you can come forward as we sing and put your Mission and Service Fund donation into the church. So, and please rise if you are able or so inclined.
This is the day that God has made. We will rejoice and be glad. This is the day that God has made. We will rejoice and be glad. Singing hallelujah. Oh, singing hallelujah. Singing hallelujah. We will rejoice and be glad. Singing hallelujah. Oh, singing hallelujah. Singing hallelujah. We will rejoice and be glad.
Yeah.
Join me now in our call to worship. This is the day we gather to give thanks for the beauty of creation. We gather in awe at the sights and sounds which surround us each day. This is the day we gather to praise our Creator, God. Come, let us to host. And we continue in prayer. As we gather, we are thankful for your creation, for light and darkness, for air, wind, and sky, for earth and sea, for seeds, harvest, and plant life, for sunlight, moonlight, and starlight, for every living creature, swarming, flying, creeping, and grazing, for our lives, in our actions, meditations, and prayers. May we honor and celebrate your very good as we seek wisdom on how to share our gratitude and love in good and healing ways. Amen.
To say something before we stand and sing. So, as the ensemble, as you know, Annika often is singing up here with Joanna and myself and George. And this week, normally we have either Randy or Joel or Sherry playing the piano, and all of them are away this weekend. And so we were kind of scrambling, like, how are we going to get a pianist? And Annika says, well, I'll play. Now, you might not know, but last year in November at Marv's, Marvelous Marv Music event, Annika's up there playing in the string section, playing the violin beautifully. And then our resident flautist was sick, she couldn't come, and there was this really intricate flute solo that had to be played for one of the songs, which Annika said, oh, I'll do that too. And so when she said she'll play the piano, I said, is there anything this young woman can't do? So we are very blessed to have her playing piano. And not only that, she arranges and writes music, which we'll do one of the songs that she arranged a little later. So anyway, thank you, Annika, for stepping in. We're doing Worship the Lord, Voices United 401. Please stand as you are able. We're doing verses 1, 3, and 5.
Worship the Lord, worship the Father, the Spirit, the Son, raising our hands in devotion to God who is one. Raising our hands as a sign of rejoicing, and with our lips our togetherness voicing, ourselves to a life of creators. Worship and work must be one. Worship the Lord, worship the Lord, worship the Father, the Spirit, the Son, raising our hands in devotion to God who is one. Partners with God in creation, honoring Christ as the Lord of the nation. We must be ready for risk and for sacrifice. Worship and work must be done. Worship the Lord, worship the Lord, praise the Creator, the Spirit, the Son.
Is this working? Excellent, very good. So I'd like to call the children forward for a children's story time. Carolyn Miller, as she always does, has selected a wonderful book that I'm excited to share with you. So last week, Reverend Valerie shared a version of the creation story, and she had all of you participate in that. So there's a little bit of participation in this, but it's really more of a listening story. So this book is about how God made our very good and wonderful world with every color of the rainbow and so many more. As we read the words, you'll discover lots of different names for all the fantastic colors that God poured into this creation. So this book is called God's Very Colorful Creation, written by Tim Thornborough, illustrated by Jennifer Davison. All right. And if these pictures are maybe hard for you to see, they're also up there and they're bigger. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Everything was dark, but God's Spirit was there, getting ready to do something amazing. And God said, "Let there be light." The light was bright and blazing, shiny and shimmering, gleaming and glowing. And the dark was dusky, dim, and deep. And on the second day, God made the sky and the sea. The sky was azure and cobalt, periwinkle and powder blue, baby blue and midnight blue. And the sea was teal and turquoise, aquamarine and ultramarine, and sometimes sea green and gray. And on the third day, God made the dry land appear. It was brown and beige, chestnut and chocolate, tan and taupe. And the mighty, majestic mountains were gray and granite, purple and puce, with dots of gold and silver, ruby and emerald, and shimmering, sparkling diamond. And God told the land to start sprouting plants, and it did. Leaves that were green and yellow and gold and scarlet, flowers and fruit that were orange and pink, and pumpkin and plum and peach and papaya. "This is good," said God. "This is so, so good." And on the fourth day, God made the sun shine with gleaming golds and yellows. And at night, the moon shone with the cold gray light. And God flung stars and galaxies into space, red giants and white dwarfs, colorful swirling nebulas of magenta, ochre, and violet. "This is good," said God. "It is so, so good." Perfect. Oh, I was going to ask Luke for a fish lesson, so I won't point to them. On the fifth day, God filled the sea with fantastic creatures, goldfish and pink salmon, white bait and yellowfin tuna. And God made octopuses and cuttlefish that could change their color whenever they wanted to. The sky came alive to the sound of flapping wings, blackbirds and bluebirds, goldcrest and greenfinch, dragonflies and butterflies, and practically perfect peacocks. And on the sixth day, God spoke, and the animals appeared: brown bears and black widow spiders, stripy zebras and golden giraffes, red deer and baboons with pink bottoms, and every color chameleons. "This is good. It is so, so good." But now it's time for the best of all. "Let us make people in our own image," said God. and let them grow and fill the earth. And God made everybody to have beautiful and fabulous variety. Their skins would be black and brown and tan and rosy pink. Their hair would be red and blonde and chestnut and raven black. Oh, this is good, said God. It is so very, very good. And God blessed his very colorful creation, which was red and orange and yellow and green and blue and indigo and violet and gold and every single color you can imagine. And on the seventh day, God rested and enjoyed the very colorful creation he had made. And so can you. So I love this book. I love all the colors. You maybe learned some new names for colors. So there was a clue at the end of the story, but I'm going to ask you, how many colors of the rainbow are there, and how many can you name? Anybody? Okay, let's start with you. Addie, which one can, maybe don't name them all, maybe name one or two. Oh, good. I like you're doing them in order. Red and orange. Okay, how about one? Blue and purple. Okay, good. Good guess. Yes. Indigo and violet. They've got it. Yes. Pink. That's it should be in there. Periwinkle is her favorite color. Okay, well, Addie had us off on the right foot with you probably remember the little acronym, �々𝘗𝘵𝑏𝑖𝑣, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You guys got them all. So there's 7 colors, but there are so many, many more colors in the rainbow and in our world. So this is what you need to do this week. When you look at things like your colorful shirt, you maybe use some of those words you learned today for colors and name them all and see if you can just enjoy just a little bit more all the amazing colors in God's creation. Thank you for listening so well to my story and for the excellent color knowledge. And now we will be singing.
Voices United.
Oh, yes.
291, All Things Bright and Beautiful.
Perfect.
And the way we'll sing this is we'll sing the chorus once, and then all 5 verses, and then back to the chorus. So maybe a little different, but than we're used to, but the verses are all so beautiful and evocative of our environment here in Canada. So turn it over. And please stand if you are able and so inclined.
Thanks for joining me.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, in love God made them all. Each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings, God made their glowing colors, God made their tiny that we might tell how great is God our Maker, who has made all things well. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, in love God made them all.
Alrighty, morning everyone. So I just want to thank Carolyn Miller for helping a ton with this service. But one of the main things, kind of a running theme throughout this service, of course, is creation. But also we really want to engage the congregation in worship today. So we're not only doing activities where I'm talking at you, but the one that we're about to start doing, and the youth are going to help out with this, is actually engaging everyone. And we're going to be making a rainstorm together. So you're going to follow along with these kind of steps. We're all going to look up to the youth at the front. They're going to be our little kind of models in terms of how to do it. We're going to start by rubbing our hands together. So everyone rub your hands together. Then we're going to move on to snapping our fingers. Then we'll begin to clap our hands. And then it intensifies even a little more to slapping your thighs. And then lastly, we're going to stomp our feet. The rain starts to die down, so we move back to slapping our thighs. Back to clapping our hands. You can go ahead and snap your fingers again. Rub your hands together. And then lastly, hands on our lap. So those are the steps. We are going to do it one more time, but this next part's kind of a little more experimental. So we're actually going to be closing our eyes and doing it. So everyone's going to close your eyes. I don't want to see anyone's eyes open. And the youth are still going to lead us, and I'm going to do it with them. But you have to listen. So you're going to listen to what other people are doing around you and try and follow along with the group. So it may be a little bit harder. I think as we get louder, it's going to be easy. But then when we get quiet at the end, you're really going to have to listen closely to see if other people are getting quiet so you can follow along with the steps. But let's start off at the start. We're going to start with rubbing our hands together. Alrighty, nice work, everyone. You can open up your eyes now. Great work, y'all. It's good following along. Okay, good. I'm glad that worked, and people seem to follow pretty well. I think maybe we had a little bit of help by some congregation members with their eyes open, following along, which is great. We're going to move on to another one of our hymns that the ensemble will introduce.
Okay, and we'll be singing one of the ensemble's favorite, Like a Healing Stream, More Voices 144. Please rise if you are able.
What I like about this one is when some years ago we were playing the ensemble, we were playing a gig at a club downtown. Actually, we were doing a lot of cover songs of Tom Petty and the band and things like that. But we threw in this one, just and rocked it up, and it actually killed. So anyway, that's why we love it so much.
barren desert. Spirit water bringing life to dusty earth. God is stripping new lives as in a dream unfolding. Promising revival and rebirth like a healing stream. Like a gentle wind on the thirsty garden. Spirit water come to nourish tiny seed. God is bubbling through the soil to coax a new creation, yearning for an end to water need, like a gentle wind. The river's long with a restless current. Spirit water rushing on to distant shore. God is carving out a channel in a new dimension, calling for an end to hate and war, like a river strong. Like a mighty sea, reaching far horizons. Spirit water with a loud but deep and wide. God is working in our hearts to shape a new tomorrow. God will always challenge and provide. Mighty sea, like a river strong, like a gentle wind, like a healing stream.
Alrighty, everyone. So we have another instance of some audience participation. We've got a creation quiz for you all. So we're going to show some close-up images of either plants or animals, and I'm going to get the congregation to give their input on what they think they might be. So they're going to be like really close macro shots of, say, I don't know, like maybe a pinky finger from a person. Probably not. It's going to be mostly animals or plants. So you're going to give it your best guess. And then Sam here is going to bring the mic over to anyone who has their raised hand for what they think it might be. So let's go ahead and start off with our first of the images.
A butterfly.
Butterfly. That is correct. That is a butterfly. Perfect. Nice work. Let's get a round of applause. Nice work. Butterfly. Very nice. Okay, second image. What do we have here? Yep. Okay. Some hands there, Sam.
Elephant.
Elephant. That is correct. It is an elephant. Woo! Nice work. That one's harder. Okay, let's do our next one. Okay, this one should be doable. I think our children just learned about this maybe. Oh, Sam, actually some of the children, yeah, perfect. Good. That's good. Let's favor the children. A rainbow? Did you say rainbow? That's correct. It is a rainbow. Very nice. Very nice. Alrighty, what's our next one? Let's see. Ooh. That's nice. Okay, Sam, see if you can get one of the mics to the children.
A peacock.
Nice, yes. Ooh, this one might be harder. Oh, looks like someone's got an idea. And I think I'll be fairly generous with this one.
A flower.
It is a flower. It is a flower. Does anyone know what type of flower it is, though? Does any of our older members got any idea? Water lily. That's it. Let's go. Nice work. It is a water lily. Very nice. Okay. There's three more. We've got this. Okay, this one I think is very doable. Let's see. Do any of our children know what this might be?
Some wood.
Some wood. That's correct. It's a tree trunk. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Ooh, what about this one? It's pretty cool.
Sea star.
Very nice. Sea star, yes. And you can see all those little tube feet on the bottom. Very nice. Okay, and then we've got one more. What about this? It's pretty fun. Any children got it? Oh, it looks like some children have it over there, Sam. Skunk. Oh, it's actually not a skunk. I hate to say it. It might be something else. It might be something else. Oh, it looks like we got another one over there. Oh, it already was said. Okay. Well, it's a zebra. Very nice. Okay, nice work, everyone. We are going to be doing another song.
Am I on here? Let's see. Okay. So our next song is We Praise You for the Sun. It is in Voices United, but we're singing a modified version, so don't follow along in the music with that one. Just the words, but this is the one that Annika has adapted and arranged. So.
Entirety. Oh, I'll play through a verse in its entirety so you can get a sense of the new melody, and then we'll sing through the verses.
You can stay seated for this one.
We praise you for the sun, the golden shining sun that gives us healing, strength, and joy. We praise you for the sun. We praise you for the rain, the softly falling rain that gives us healing, strength, and joy. We praise you for the rain. We praise you for your love, your patient, endless love that gives us healing, strength, and joy. We praise you for your love.
Verses 5 to 13. God our Savior, you do wonderful things to save us. People all over the world and across the distant seas trust in you. You set the mountains in place by your strength, showing your mighty power. You calm the roar of the seas and the noise of the waves. You calm the uproar of the peoples. The whole world stands in awe of the great things you have done. Your deeds bring shouts of joy from one end of the earth to the other. You show your care for the land by sending rain. You make it rich and fertile. You fill the streams with water. You provide the earth with crops. This is how you do it. You send abundant rain on the plowed fields and soak them with water. You soften the soil with showers and cause the young plants to grow. What a rich harvest your goodness provides. Wherever you go, there is plenty. The pastures are filled with flocks. The hillsides are full of joy. The fields are covered with sheep. The valleys are full of wheat. Everything shouts and sings for joy.
Good morning, everybody. At this time, I would like to invite the children up front. So today we're talking a little bit about creation, hey? And downstairs, we made these wonderful butterflies. Butterflies are a symbol of new life and new beginnings. Have you ever seen a butterfly turn from a cocoon into a butterfly? Does anybody know what the word for that is? It is a life cycle. It's metamorphosis. So a metamorphosis provides a beautiful illustration of what it's like to change and become anew, doesn't it?
So our children downstairs, we colored all of these beautiful butterflies up here, each one unique and different, symbolizing how we all have different new beginnings and new life. And we want you guys in the audience and congregation. There are, I believe, on the pews on the ends, some markers and some coloring stuff. And we want you to color and create your own butterflies. And then when you're done, if you can just raise your hand, and we will have one of the children or youth come and take it from you and put it up here with our butterflies.
So it's always hard to know how to spread out the things because you never know who's going to be sitting where. So please share amongst yourselves. There may or may not be enough butterflies and pencil crayons in your row, but there may be in another row. Was there nothing here? Well, we have to get you some. You can share with Linda. No. So just send your basket with the pencil crayons down the row for everybody to have a little chance at being creative. The kids really went to town on making butterflies, as you can see by the beautiful tree. So my apologies if there may not be quite enough butterflies to reach the end of the line. Another good reason why you might like to sit in the middle. You also get an excellent view. When you're done, if you want to put up your hand and one of the kids can come around and make sure your butterfly gets displayed. And I would like to say that Luke and the youth created the tree and the leaves, and then it was enhanced with the beautiful butterflies by the children. And I believe it's Carolyn's vision that this will be on display in the church for a while to come, because it's quite lovely. And with your additional craftiness, it will even be better. It could be that some people are really getting into it and may want to color for a little while, and so you can always add your butterfly at the end of the service. It can fly on up here a little bit later on.
On, we're going to sing the anthem, which is a very well-known song. It's the most famous version, of course, was released by Louis Armstrong, singing the vocals some years ago. But it's a fabulous example of a secular song written in a secular way that can be perceived as a very sacred piece of music. I don't know if any of you ever were in Naramata. I can't remember her name. Barb Myers, the diaconal minister from Camrose. She ran a course called Jesus on the Charts. And what she would do is she would ask you to bring secular songs, songs that you hear on the radio, whether they're by John Denver or Bruce Springsteen or even Avril Lavigne. You can hear, if you listen to them with the right kind of ears, you can just hear the sacred in the secular. And this is an absolutely beautiful song that demonstrates that.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful
Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you."
I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Alrighty, everyone. So while our children are still working on these butterflies, we've got a lot of butterflies because we've got a large congregation. I'm really happy to see everyone here this morning. We're going to go ahead and give our reflection. So today I want to talk about interconnectedness, and not specifically only interconnectedness with humans, but also interconnectedness between humans and nature. So the world around us is fundamentally interconnected. All things that are living depend on other living things in order to survive, and even small changes in our environment can have a big effect on humans, but also other animals. You can see up on the screen, here's some paintings that our youth made during the youth retreat. These are paintings that we did when we were out on a hike, looking around in Jasper, and I was really welcoming everyone to, as we walked, look and see what living things they could see around them, and reflect on how that impacts us, how that impacted our emotions, and also how those living things related to one another as well. We also did communion out on the trail. So while we were sitting out on the trail, looking at like birds and whatnot, we did communion, which was really, really nice. But I actually welcomed these 4 youth up here today to reflect on some interconnectedness that they've seen in the natural world. And so let's start with Elise here to tell us.
I wouldn't say this is like completely with like animals, but just I've noticed recently with the change in seasons how much it impacts everybody, with how it's been getting warmer and it's been like much nicer to be outside, and with all the birds that are coming out, I feel like I've noticed such a change in everyone's moods. Like everyone's energy seems to be much more elevated, spirits are higher, and overall there's more motivation and joy this time of year with the weather improving.
When I was out in nature recently, I saw birds gathering sticks to build nests.
Yeah, so when we were doing our hike in Jasper, we saw a lot of like lichen, which is essentially like two organisms in one. It's like fungi and algae working together to survive. And it really shows how like in nature there's like multiple organisms like working together not only to live but also to like thrive. So yeah.
So over the last couple weeks, on warm days, I've seen the bees in our backyard out, and although there's not much in bloom right now, it got me to thinking about how important the insects are to pollinate all the plants.
Thanks so much to the youth for reflecting. So yeah, I'm just going to continue on in my reflection here. So humans, of course, are no different than other organisms in terms of our need for other organisms and interconnectedness to survive. And I want to tell just a classic story that I always hear about and think about when I'm thinking of interconnectedness with us and the world. And that is specifically the sparrow campaign in China, which happened around 1960. So at the time, there was a lot of state propaganda that was pushing the idea that man must conquer nature. So kind of a dark idea, not typically the way that we think about it. And sparrows, which feed on grain as part of their diet, they were vilified. They were seen as a pest to farmers. And so there was kind of a countrywide campaign to kill all the sparrows, get rid of the entirety of the sparrows. And it unfortunately, for the sparrows, it was very, very successful at its goals. So they pretty much tanked the sparrow population all the way across China. So they achieved their goals, but yet, of course, that doesn't end up being good. There's a bad side to this story for humans as well as the sparrows. So sparrows do not only feed on grain, that was why they were originally vilified, but they also feed on insects. So that with the sparrows being gone, there became a really large number of locusts that were all across China. And this has been attributed as one of the main causes of a famine that took place right around 1960 in China, and tens of millions of people died as a result of this. So killing all those sparrows ended up really, really hurting humans as well. So I think this is obviously a very sad example for humans as well as for sparrows, but it just goes to show that we rely on other living things in order to be here. So I did my degree in ecology, and in our current world, there's a lot of big trend in ecology of putting value on living things. So it's very common. We try to attribute a monetary price to various ecosystems around us. It's known as ecological valuation. So the idea that if we assign a certain amount of money to a certain service that an ecosystem gives us, then its value is easily understood so that we can make economic decisions about it. For example, many wetlands are really important in keeping clean water for us, so we drink that water that comes out of it. If we were able to figure out the value of a wetland using ecological valuation, we would figure out how much it would cost us to do the same amount of water purification using a human method. The idea is essentially taught in every university, so everyone learns this in ecology, but I don't particularly like it personally, because I don't think that you really can put a value on God's creation. And really, I think not only does nature give us things like pest control or water purification, but nature also gives us some food for the soul. So spending time out in nature, like we did on the youth retreat, and like you just heard the youth reflect on, really you can't put a value on that. And if we didn't have that nature, it would seriously, I think, affect human happiness and mental health. So I think it's really important around Earth Day, like where we are, to reflect on nature and think about how much it gives us beyond just monetary benefits. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll sing once again, More Voices 122, This is the Day.
Oh, singing
morning. Before I start in with prayers of the people, I'd just like to thank Luke's leadership and the youth for their sharing in this service today, and Crystal coordinating the beautiful butterfly art. So for our prayers of the people today, generous and loving God, we thank you for the many gifts you have given us. We thank you for the sunshine and the rain, the mountains and the valleys, the challenges and the gifts, the trees and the flowers. We are grateful to live in your grace. We remember those who are struggling this day, those close to our hearts, those we learn about through the news, those we pass on the street but do not know, and our neighbors sitting beside us today. Be with each of them. Help them to know your love and grace. As we make plans, work hard, and enjoy friends and family, help us to remember that we must nurture all living things in your world. Help us to take the actions that will allow the beauty of your creation to thrive. Help us to support, foster, and create faith communities that love the world. For the sake of your majestic creation, and for the love of all our relations, help us to work for a better future. Amen. So, the stewardship moment, like somebody said, everybody's favorite moment in church. Just a brief one today. I see the stewardship moment as an opportunity to speak about something that is important to you about our church, and perhaps something that you might like to highlight. So, given that we've had such excellent participation and leadership by our youth group in today's service, I'd like to highlight how your givings support our youth ministry. The program has been a fixture in our church for many years, since the early days of our UC. My two children were both heavily committed members of this group, and my son Ben, I guess I should say our son Ben with my husband sitting there, our son Ben was youth leader for a few years as well. I see another member, longtime member in our pews today, Owen, who can go back even beyond Ben and Emily, my kids. So today we saw some of our youth members assisting with the service, but usually on Sunday morning, you'd find them downstairs having a discussion led by Luke in their designated youth room in the basement. In addition to Sunday's discussion, various fun activities are held a couple of times a month, coordinated by Luke, like last night's biblical cake-making event. Our church budget contains a line item for our youth program. The youth ministry coordinator is a paid part-time position, and we're really thrilled to have Luke in his third year in this role. An important event on the youth calendar. It's a very great time for them to build community. That's the youth retreat that we heard a little bit about today from the youth in their reflection. There is some funds from the church that go to subsidize that event, despite the fact the youth do pay a small fee. And we also provide some funds for some of the events, like perhaps the ingredients for the cakes. So, of course, any gifts of time, talent, and treasure are always welcome. For monetary gifts, there's an offering plate in the narthex, the option for e-transfer, or there's the donate button on our website. And our favorite method of receiving your gifts is through pre-authorized remittance, an easy direct deposit from your bank account to the church bank account. I was going to say our account, and then I thought, well, no, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Feel free to see me or our treasurer about how to sign up for pre-authorized remittance. And as always, thank you for all your contributions. Our next hymn will be It's a Song of Praise to the Maker, More Voices, number 30.
to the giver. When waves and waterfalls roar, it's a call of love to the giver. When high tides break on the shore, and by the Spirit, you and I can join our voice to the holy cry, and sing, sing, sing to the Maker. It's a hymn of love to the lover, the bumblebees hum along. It's a hymn of love to the lover, when summer breeze joins the song. And by the Spirit, you and I can join our voice to the holy cry, and sing, sing, sing to the Maker. It's the chorus of all creation. It's sung by all living things. It's the chorus of all creation, a song that you never sing. And by the Spirit, you and I can join our voice to the holy cry, and sing, sing, sing to the Maker.
I just want to say what a pleasure it was to help with this beautifully crafted service. I missed Carolyn Miller's enthusiastic Scottish voice today, but I think that we can all feel that her spirit was with us through these excellent activities in this worship service. And finally, I'd like to ask Lucas to share our benediction. But before that, I also wanted to say, please don't forget that the youth would like to share their baking prowess after the service, and so we'll be serving up, and maybe I'll help, we'll be serving up some cake to share, and as well, the garage sale team welcomes your assistance after you've been fortified by some sugar to go down and set up a table or two for the sale. Thank you. Lucas?
As we experience each tree and flower, each bird and bee, and each human, let us feel our God reflected in creation. As we love one another, may your Spirit give us the strength we need to care for every part of creation. Amen.